Podcast. Yeah.
Season 4. The Process.
What's happening, it's your peoples, man? Episode 135, No and 5 Podcast. We are live in a lot of different ways. Of course, we got the live on Instagram, and we got me live here talking my shit. It's been a while. I'm not even going to hold you. It's been probably like at least 3 weeks, probably more. I haven't really been keeping count since we dropped the podcast, and it ain't like motherfuckers has been, pump faking or couldn't do what they got to do. Is we just got shit to do. That's the problem. Life don't stop. No matter how far you chase your dreams, no matter what it is that you're doing or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you're always going to have another chapter, another level, another constant that you're going to have to deal with. And that's just how you got to go. I mean, when the people that are hungry, they're driven, they're going to find a way to make it happen. It don't matter if or what life throws at you. How about that? You know what I mean? Shout out to the live, though. I got everybody on live right now, which is like one person because it's like damn near midnight. I just decided, I was like, you know what, enough is enough. I don't know what my Sunday's going to be looking like. So there's a big possibility, a big chance that I probably won't do a podcast on Sunday. So I had to get it in now. Shout out to Ann, shout out to Hot Mama and everybody else, the co-hosts that usually be on this joint. They're usually on here with me. But of course, like I said, since I wasn't able to do them when I wanted to, I'm over here trying to get y'all something. So don't knock the hustle, don't hate a player, you know what I mean? I'm just over here doing what the fuck I do, and you already know. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this summer, man, because summer got off to a late start where we're at here in the world. It didn't really kick off to like mid-July, the end of July, when it really started getting hot, and I'm already tired of this shit. We're not even in August yet. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm not the hot person. Do not like being in the hot weather. The shit bothers me. I do not handle the heat well. Now, that doesn't mean that I can't. I can tolerate it. Obviously, I'm fucking here. I'm alive, so I could live. I can make it. But if you're asking me my ideal weather conditions, I'm gonna always tell you the cold, snow. I like fall. You feel me? I like winter because winter you get to get layered up. You put on all your shit. Motherfucker don't know what you got with you. You know what I mean? But fall is cool. Spring is cooler. I love spring. Spring's dope. But when we start talking about getting too hot, you know what I mean? When you're uncomfortable, you breaking a sweat for no reason. Motherfuckers is musty and you name it, then we got a problem. You know what I mean? Because then at this point, it's just like, yo, okay, enough's enough. We get it. I don't know, understand. It has to obviously have some kind of scientific value to the whole, our whole ecosystem, because I don't understand why the fuck it gotta be so goddamn hot for. How does that help the universe? How does that help the world? You feel me? I'm just saying though, you know what I mean, motherfuckers? You gotta understand something too. There's people out there that don't even like to shower just on the natch, just because. So then you got motherfuckers over here that are damn dumbass hot all the damn time and you're sweating. And it was like, these motherfuckers don't like to shower anyway. I don't know. Look, I'm probably the last person that should be giving y'all hygiene advice. Actually, I probably am the best person because I'm going to be real with you. A lot of y'all stink out there. And it ain't because, it's the weather, it's hot, or this and that. Nah, a lot of y'all motherfuckers stink just because y'all stink. And y'all don't wash your ass right. You can't go wash your feet, then your ass and your balls, and then use that same washcloth to wash your face. That shit it's not how it functions. You start from the top and work your way down. But yeah, there's people out here, bro. There's mad musty for like they don't like to shower as it is. It's like, come on now. But now, you need to wash your ass, especially on these hot days, on these days when it's like, 90 plus. Y'all need to be hopping in the shower. I never understood how people could get in from like being outside, sweating, running around, all that extra shit, and then jump in the motherfucking bed, like in the sheets, like it's cool. It's like, man, if you don't get your nasty ass up and go wash your ass first. But I mean, that's just me. That's just what it is. I don't know. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homegirl, man. She over here talking about too much meat. I don't know what you talking about. We're going to say pause just because that's a wild comment just to throw out there. Please explain. Throw some context when you comment on the live. But we got the live We're here. It's the Known Vibe Podcast. I'm going to keep it moving. Please tell the weather to calm down. We know already the sun keeps it more than 100. You don't got to prove yourself no more, son. I mean, your role is solidified out here in the universe. You are the center of our solar system. How much more fucking attention do you need, bruh? On God, man. Anyway, so shout out to the sun for keeping it 100. I wish you would calm it the fuck down. But it is what it is, man. You know, this is the Knowing Vibe Podcast. I know you guys been watching out. You guys been watching the bippers out there ripping and running, tearing your motherfucking shit apart. And I don't know how y'all feel about the bippers, man. I'm gonna tell you like this. I ain't never gonna knock nobody to get no money, but to get in their money. But I'm gonna tell you like this. If I catch your ass in my you know what I mean? It's gonna be a problem. And it's not gonna be the problem y'all like. And every seeing these videos, a lot of these bippers are professional and they be jumping out and they got the whole shit. Man, get your money, man. But stay the fuck away from my shit. That's how I feel. You know, it's been kind of wild. I've been all over. I've been working in the city a lot these past couple weeks, so I've been witnessing firsthand just the chaos. And we got like a running joke. It's like, yo, if you go to the city and walk around downtown and shit by the Embarcadero or whatever, just act crazy. Just scream in the fucking air for no reason and say some wild shit, and people won't even fucking bother to look your way. You want to be invisible in the city? Act like a fucking lunatic, crazy, wild person. Oh, you know what's up, Escobars? What's happening, brother? You know what I mean? I'm chilling right now. I'm talking shit right now, having a little moment. But yeah, the city's been wild lately. You know, the bippers have been real activated. They got other states and places, you know, doing, like we do in the Bay. You know, everybody's following suit. They seeing what we doing, you know, just like the Kia boys, you know, out there that started the whole trend. I mean, you know, we gonna give credit where it's due. The bipping definitely started out here, you know, and they've been bipping. Look, they've been bipping since the beginning of cars, okay? But what I mean by like in this fashion, like they jump out like professionals and they sizing up. Man, you got dudes jumping out of they car bipping shit like they're fucking delivering for Uber Eats or something. They jump out, mask on, in front of everybody. Everybody's watching, you know what I mean? Break the motherfucking glass, get they shit, gone, skirt, like nothing, business as usual. So shout out to the bippers, man. Just leave my shit alone, please. That's all I ask for. We're gonna go ahead and get into the main topics. Now, I want to ask y'all a personal opinion. I know a lot of people, you know, we stay away from politics on the Known Vibe Podcast, so we're gonna keep it light, man. We're not gonna really just talk about, you know, the right and the left and all that other crazy shit, because I'm sure you see enough of that. Like, and with the misinformation that's going on nowadays and both sides to be lying to each other to try to like validate how they feel, I don't even bother. You know, so you're not really going to get too much of that kind of rhetoric on this podcast. Now, when we have guests, we do talk about all kinds of shit, and we have no problem addressing anything. But for the moment, we're not going to get to that. It's just ridiculous. But what we are going to talk about is one thing that everybody could probably agree on, you know, and depending on who's holding power, that, you know, maybe they're not going to agree. But y'all seen that boy Mitch McConnell freeze up like a witness on the witness stand. You feel me? You know, they're trying to, you know, they're like, oh my God, something's really wrong with him. Man, that motherfucker ain't wrong. That's the look you have on your face when you know you lying and you're just tired of lying. He just sat there, froze, like, yo, I can't do it no more. I'm a liar, y'all. I've been lying this whole time. And it brings up a question that people have been talking about lately, and that's how old is too fucking old to serve as, I guess, a senator or serve in politics? Because you got to understand something. We got these motherfucking 80-year-old people that when they were growing up, yeah, they do. Yeah, shit was definitely a lot different. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They didn't tolerate scum. You feel me? Y'all take that how y'all want to. You know what I mean? For y'all, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? Just a little racist. You know what I'm saying? But they definitely grew up in an era that's very, very much different from us. And I know people saying, oh, well, you know, they grow, they don't. At some point, you're going to lose touch. You ever talk to that old-ass uncle that thinks that they know how everything is? And don't get me wrong, wisdom is wisdom, and fucking, you know, the foundations about respect and morals, I mean, that's timeless. No, I'm not outdating that. But what I'm saying is how they look at the world and how they were raised. A lot of people, like, that's why you got the MAGA thing. You know, people talking about make America great, but then people are like, well, when was America ever great? you know, and you know it could go back and forth because it was great for some people. I'm sure it was fucking awesome, but for other people it probably wasn't the case. You dig what I'm saying? So at what point are we gonna stop making these motherfuckers that are like triple the age of an average person that they affect making policies? You know, like I said, Mitch McConnell froze up like he was doing the robot on fucking live, and like and it just brought to me, it's like, yo, there's certain things that people really need to stop at an age. There got to be an age limit, like driving. I don't give a fuck how coherent you are as a 90-year-old. If you're 90 fucking years old, it's probably time for you to hand the keys over, buddy. Newsflash, like the white people say. It's probably a good time to hand over the fucking keys. Same thing with politics, man. Once you get past like shit, I want to say like 60, 65. After that point, you're already in your geriatric. If you got to wear diapers walking around as draws, you don't need to be doing politics. You definitely don't need to be making up policies that affect the average person that you don't even give a fuck about. Like you're so out of touch with reality that the average person to you is, you know, the old ass fucking let's start fucking, let's take it back to the 50s, y'all. You know what I mean? That's where y'all really wanted it to be great at, huh? That's why y'all want it. But on some real shit though, these politicians, they use their platform, they use their positions, and they make a lot of money. I just seen a little video on they did on the, what the fuck is her name? Excuse me, y'all. It's kind of late and I didn't smoke as much as I'd like to before I started. But I forgot her fucking Nancy Pelosi. They showed how she makes only $90,000 a year and has been working. Obviously, she's been in politics for like 1 million years already, but she is worth $127 million. Now, how do you make $127 million when your salary is $90,000 a year? Exactly. Anyways, we're not going to get into that. Like I said, I don't fuck with the politics and shit like that. Y'all know how I feel. I'm for the people. So whatever's better for the people, that's who I'm down with. I wish a lot of y'all would stop bickering and arguing and fighting, because you guys are so ignorant to the fact that you guys are doing exactly what these people want you to do. At the end of the day, we are not the ones, the average person that hold power. You got 90 and 85-year-old people that are running for Senate and making moves on our behalf. You know? So at the end of the day, we got to do something about that. I don't know who we is, because we, to me, is too many fucking people. I do my dirt up by my lonely, but these old ass senators and all these motherfuckers making too much money and shit, and are not really giving a fuck about us. And like I said, we talked about it. I talked about this topic and shit similar to that with Bundy from Dope Flavors, and I really feel like they know. Obviously, they know more than what they're telling us about how the world is, maybe the world's origins and where the world is headed. So they're like running it up. That's why, like, you ever wonder, like I said, I even told this to Bundy. Shout out Bundy from Dope Flavors. I was like, you ever wonder why these motherfuckers just run it up and don't give a fuck about, like, the environment, don't give a fuck about shit that affects them too? Like, obviously, they don't give a fuck about us, their fellow man. You know, and this shit does affect them, but they don't realize it because they feel like money could insulate them from the direct effects of what they do to the world and the rest of humanity. But it's just like, yo, how like they know something we don't know. They have to know something we don't know. You know, there's a lot of truth that gets suppressed out there. I'm not trying to go into my conspiracy theory rant, but I could. But there's a lot of shit out there that they choose not to let us know, or they have their their narrative, and they want to keep too close to that narrative as possible. I just seen a lot of things going on, and it's just kind of weird, man. And I know we're in a weird space. They know something we definitely don't know. But speaking of outer worldly shit, while we're on the subject, we're gonna go ahead and let the live go. Y'all have a blessed night. You know, we had to just let them get a little bar. They could always go to No Invite Podcast on Instagram, no_invite_podcast, or they could go to our YouTube channel at RiBirth Media Films, get a bar of everything, you know, and let us know what they think. But yeah, they made it official. I guess they had old Sergeant dude, whatever his fucking name is. He's been on Joe Rogan already talking about the stuff before, and he's been on a campaign And he's talking about the fact that, yeah, the U.S. is in possession of alien bodies and alien aircrafts. And when they say alien, of course, they say out of worldly. So obviously it's not from this fucking world. I don't know why they're trying to change the alien scenario now. Maybe that's just, like I said, once again, the narrative, you know, like he who controls the narrative controls the everything pretty much. But yeah, he got on the Senate floor, and this is another thing that I have. People could probably, you know, educate me on this, because obviously, because I don't know it, it doesn't mean that I think it's crazy or corrupt or weird or anything. I'm just, you know, posing questions. And in our society and in the government we lived in, we're allowed to do that, correct? So there shouldn't be no reason why anybody's sweating me. Of course, I'm probably going to get obliterated in the comments like they always do, because they don't give a fuck. People are stupid and ignorant, and they hear any old thing and they just take off and run with it and fail to do research, fail to realize that there's forces out there that are pushing the misinformation to keep everyone else, the herds, the masses confused and disorientated. But yeah, they're talking about they have all this stuff. Now, I want to know what I was thinking, what I was curious about this whole situation, because I'm sure y'all probably heard of it already a million times. Is it how does one get an audience with Congress? Because and it's like this guy, all the stuff that he claims he knows and stuff, it ain't that like classified shit? Like, I don't understand how that works, how he's allowed to say this. He's ex-military, ex-Navy, so, you know, and here where he says that they were his particular unit was in charge of monitoring and assessing alien spacecraft or encounters or whatever, you know, and stuff like that, because they see a whole lot of shit, I'm sure, in the Navy. So they were in charge of that, and he talked about a lot of different things, how they was in possession. Some of those crashed vehicles that government have retrieved were also had some kind of, he referred to it as bio something, which in other terms, it means an organic life form that obviously we have no category or classification for on this planet, so he had to refer to it the way that he did. But either way, I believe, I've been telling you guys, you know, and it's not because I'm fucking almighty and all-knowing and I'm just that fucking smarter than you. I've been saying this because it's obvious. And it's just numbers like anything else. Okay, obviously Earth is different and functions different than a lot of these other planets from what we know. But there's still some, I would say that the universe has to function on some kind of, you know, similar parameters or whatever. I mean, it can't just, you know, just be all just like, it just can't be like, oh, we're the only ones and we're special and we're just unique like that. We are unique, don't get me wrong. And we are special. You know, we're going to get y'all a helmet for you special motherfuckers. But there has to be, just in sheer numbers, like the odds, like, so like odds on Earth, like anything else. Look at how many species and subspecies we have and stuff on Earth. There's no way that there's other planets and there ain't some sort of life, whether it's, you know, the minutest, smallest thing. Like I never trusted that there ain't no life forms excuse, because how the fuck do you know? We ain't never been to nowhere except the moon. And I put air quotes around that too, because I don't understand why it's so people are like, oh, we need to travel. We're trying to travel to space again. It's like, well, we been going? What the fuck's the problem? All these rockets that they're launching, they're hella happy. It's like, what the fuck? I just seen a thing that said that it's possible that the last rocket launch from SpaceX punctured a hole in the atmosphere. I'm like, yo, a hole, it punctured. How the fuck does that happen? And how the fuck did it not happen any other time that we went out in space, quote unquote? You feel me? Space. So look, I'm not here to boggle the mind. I'm just here to, I'm not here to tell you I told you so, even though I did tell you so. But that's like anything else in life and in this world, you got to always keep an open mind. You got to try to assess what the information is and make your own opinion. Don't necessarily just fall for any old thing that they tell you out there, because they'll tell you anything that you want to fucking hear if you want to hear it, you know? And at the end of the day, it's like I'm very just suspicious of this whole situation and scenario. How did he get a seat in Congress? How is he up there talking about stuff that I would presume is classified? But then again, it's like, who the fuck knows how how the government is operating with this now? Because they were also revealing and having press conferences talking about otherworldly vehicles and stuff like that. So we're going to put a button in that. When the aliens come around, I'm going to let them know that I got the stankiest dank. We can smoke. I'm all about peace. You know what I mean? But, if we have to, we could get busy. But, I ain't trying to do all that. We trying to smoke. We trying to keep it peace, man. Shoot us some technology. Help us unlock whatever it is that we need to unlock so we can stop being fucking idiots on this planet. I feel like we're like a failed experiment, when it comes to how we treat each other, how we treat our environment, how we look at things, how we react, it's all, and I get it, man. I get it. We could only do so much, it's our nature, I guess you could say, but I mean, it gotta be something better. When is the next step? When are we taking the next little evolution? It's gonna click that we shouldn't be, or we can't be doing stupid fucking shit. But, that's either here nor there. It is what it is. With that being said, we're gonna keep it going. Yes. So the Las Vegas Police Department recently conducted a raid on a house in Henderson, Nevada, I believe, which is, close to Las Vegas for those of y'all that don't know. And what they were looking for was evidence in the cold case of the murder of Tupac Shakur, 27-year-old murder investigation that is, I guess, sparked back to life. I am not very trusting of this whole situation because this information that's been out, they've known for quite some time. They've taken heat for it, obviously, and maybe somebody's putting pressure on the Las Vegas Police Department to actually put a button on it. I noticed that after the Dear Mama documentary, that what's it called? They've been putting a little bit more respect on Pac's name. You feel me? He finally got his Hollywood star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, which I am boggled and baffled on why he didn't get it already before. But I, in a weird way, I kind of thought he already had one, but and then I don't ever recall them ever making it a thing, which I know it was and it should have been. But so they're basically sparking up this whole new investigation. And for y'all that don't know, what I mean, and you are still listening, so obviously you're gonna hear my rant. I'm gonna give you guys a quick breakdown. A few years back, there was a gentleman. A few years back, they were doing an investigation on the Biggie Smalls murder, the Notorious B.I.G., and a task force was created. You could kind of watch the vanilla version of it, the glamorized version on Netflix. There's a show on there. But this the Tupac. It's called Unsolved. It's the Tupac and Biggie like murder show, but it's like obviously it's a sitcom dramatization type thing. So, anyways, during that whole investigation, they were basically the LAPD was going to be getting sued for $500 million or so, something like some crazy number, and they needed to find out if the allegations that the estate of the Notorious B.I.G. was true, which was they believed that he was murdered by cops and cops had something to do with his murder. That's what they believe and that's what they alleged in this lawsuit. So they hired Greg Kading, which is an officer with questionable background. And y'all could do your own research on that. But the LAPD hired him to try to close the Notorious B.I.G. case and prove that the LAPD wasn't involved. Now, I don't want to go too in depth with that case because that case is a whole nother can of worms. It's very fucking interesting for y'all that don't know. Like, it ain't your average, murder. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot to it. There's a lot of layers and there's a lot of weird shit. And once you hear that whole situation as far as the murder and surrounding him and the investigation of the Notorious B.I.G., you could see why people go on conspiracy theory rants. You can see why people don't trust the LAPD or any police department because of how they handle things and how they choose to handle things. They were not really putting a lot of pressure to solve this case up until they got the lawsuit. And instead of them wanting to solve the case because they wanted to bring justice, quote unquote, to the Notorious B.I.G.'s family, they were really doing it to avoid a $500 million lawsuit. So Anyways, he winds up during an investigation, he winds up stumbling onto some information that basically they solved, quote unquote, the Tupac Shakur murder while investigating the Notorious B.I.G. murder. And for those people that don't know, they're basically saying that these two murders are definitely linked. Of course, the streets knew all that already. You know, it's only natural. It's only, you know, if for the street, that the person from the streets that knows that's the natural order of things. You know, that's why he should have never been in LA at the time that he was in LA, because when something like that happens, you know, retaliation is something that is very much the answer to that kind of you know, that kind of force or whatever, that kind of violence. So he, for those that all know, don't know, whatever. So basically this guy finds out that one of the guys that was doing bodyguard work and closely associated with the Puff Daddy, you feel me? Anyways, he tells them, he spills the beans and lets them know that they're the ones, that him, his nephew, and a couple other people were the ones in the car when they killed, quote unquote, Tupac Shakur. You know, the dude he's related to, the guy that they beat up in the MGM the night right before Tupac was murdered in Las Vegas in 1996. Okay, so that's the story more or less. You feel me? He got pressure put on him. They gave him a deal where he could speak about the crime as long as he doesn't. There was certain little, you know, there was certain little stipulations that he was not allowed to do. So, but for the most part, they gave him a deal. He had immunity. He basically broke down the whole situation on how he is allegedly his little nephew, who the one that got jumped, how he allegedly, they seen him on the strip. They shot Tupac in the car. Y'all know the fucking story for anybody that knows. But Keefe D is the gentleman that we're talking about. He laid out in his statement that he gave to the task force, Greg Kading and the LAPD task force. He basically laid out the fact that, you know, he, you know, his nephew killed him, and he already was contracted by Puffy Combs, Sean Combs. Prior to that night, he was solicited by him, allegedly, to murder Tupac. He told him, like, yo, something to the extent of, like, I would pay $1 million to get rid of this motherfucker. And Keefe D, you know, took that as, okay, well, shit, that's $1 million we could make, potential. From what he said, wasn't like we're gonna do it, but it was just the offer that was out there. So eventually, when the whole jumping at the Las Vegas MGM of Orlando Anderson, his nephew, you know, they were, well, shit, dude had it coming. Pac had it coming in their mind. So shit, now they're gonna get some money from it. Why I bring this all up is because, okay, so look, so they're bringing back this murder investigation. They raided his house. They said they found bullets and they took hard drives and all kinds of other stuff trying to figure out. I don't know what Keefe D did to violate his agreement that he made with the government over the information of the Tupac Shakur murder, but it's looking like he's probably going to get indicted and probably going to get arrested for it. He's alive. A murder, there is no statute of limitations, so he would be considered a what do you call that? He would be considered an accessory to murder. And if they do believe that he was contracted, that would be premeditated murder, another charge. And this is why I was bringing it up, because if they do decide to charge him and decide to charge him for the death of that, now whether the death of Tupac Shakur, now, do they have enough evidence to drop an indictment on Puffy? Now, this is all speculation, obviously, and I don't want to see nobody get locked up for nothing. I'm just speaking about how the legal system works. Like, to me, I never knew that you could make an agreement like that and fucking, you know, tell about a crime and get immunity like that. You know, to me, all that shit ain't even on the table. It's not even a fucking option. But I just didn't know it existed, period. But so the fact that he did all that and he had stipulations, and I guess he wrote a book, he went and did a Countless Vlad and the Art of Dialogue interviews and stuff like that. So somewhere along there, he said something that he wasn't supposed to, and he was Greg Kading, the the task force officer, for the BIG murder. He's done multiple Vlad and other interviews as well, and he said that he can't speak on certain things. If he speaks on certain things, he could be rearrested. So that's kind of where it's at right now, and I'm like, yo, if they decide to arrest, will they arrest Puff Daddy if they believe that whole solicitation, murder for hire thing? And if that's the case, because a lot of the people that are already involved in this case are dead. Obviously, the shooter, Orlando Anderson, is dead. He died like in 1998 or something like that. He was killed in a drive-by or something. Or not in a drive-by, but he was killed in a shootout. He's dead. The driver to the car that they used is dead. I want to say the rear passenger is dead. The only one left in that scenario is Keefe D. And then on top of that, Puffy, obviously. So I just kind of, I peeped it and I'm like, yo, where's this coming from? Why all of a sudden the interest in the murder of Tupac? Did Keefe D say something in an interview that, opened up the floodgates for him to be indicted and possibly arrested for murder? If they do believe the murder for hire plot, does this mean that Sean Puffy Combs is going to get arrested for the murder of Tupac Shakur? Who knows? I mean, he got money, he got bread, so it would be like they'd have to have a smoking gun, in my opinion, in order for them to want to run that up on him, And that doesn't mean that they can't. They could still technically get the murder conviction on Keefe D because he's self-admitted. I mean, there's really nothing else that they need. That's why it's another thing. It's like, okay, why are they raiding his house for evidence of stuff? Are they trying to find evidence on him? What more evidence do they need when he already gave up all the business, self-admitted to the crime? What would this new evidence be used for is what I'm trying to figure out. Would it be used to indict other people? Would it be used to be brought into the light? And to give you guys some context, they've never found who actually murdered the Notorious B.I.G. It's all been speculation, always has been. It's always been that some cops that were working with Death Row, close to Suge Knight, grew up with them, or whatever the case was, were the people that actually killed him. But we don't fucking know. We don't know. I don't even know. To be honest with you, I don't even know if this shit with Keefe D and the Tupac murder is real too, because a lot of times people will say anything to get out of the issue that they're under, and he got arrested doing some other shit, some kind of drug transaction or whatever, to the point where he was going to face a lot of time. So that's how they put the pressure on him to be able to get the information pertaining to the Notorious B.I.G. murder, and of course eventually coming out with the information on Tupac murder. So it is very interesting. It's very like I'm trying to understand, because it's weird too. I don't even know if dude's incarcerated. I don't know if he's on the run. I don't know what's going on. But it's like where I'm from, how things go. They don't just raid your shit and then they don't fucking. They're not looking at you. Got a warrant already. When they come to kick your door down, that's because they're coming to get you. They're not coming to fucking find evidence and see if we're gonna get you or we might be able to get you. No, they're coming to, when they kick your shit down, they're coming to get you. The warrant and the fucking indictment has been signed and sealed. It's been there. They just were picking the right time to come get you. If they come down and kick your door, they've been watching you. Believe that. Remember that shit. But, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting time. Stranger things have happened, so who the fuck knows? I wanted to come on here and give y'all a lot more, but I really miss my co-host, and I really need to get him back in rotation. This is the Knowing Vibe Podcast. This is episode 135. I am Blaze One Diz. I appreciate y'all. I definitely wanted to do some announcements before we head out. Shout out the crew, obviously, already. We got big things coming up. We have a pop-up event. I want to say, August 4th and August 12th. Come holla at your boy. We're going to be having a couple, August 12th and September 4th, But make sure you guys tap in with me. Follow the clothing line page on Instagram. That's RiBirth Clothing Co. RiBirth Clothing Co. on Instagram. Make sure that you guys follow us, the actual podcast, on Instagram at no_invite_podcast. You could also go to our YouTube channel at RiBirth Media Films, RiBirth Media Films with a Z. Tap in, lock in with us over there. You could find all the updates and stuff. And once again, like I said, I apologize. My bad. I ain't been feeding the streets. I ain't been on this podcast doing what I'm supposed to do. But life happens, and it's been too goddamn hot for me to be doing anything else than just chilling up under some AC. I'm currently right now relocating my studio, so I am not in some AC right now. And I'm lucky that we're able, it's been a temperature where your boy could actually go in here and knock a podcast out, because I have no problem saying no. I want to do this for the fans, but I have no problem saying no. You dig? With that being said, y'all have a blessed one. Be safe, keep it moisturized, and don't hate the player. You feel me?